gamers find themselves yet again in another controversy. And what I find interesting is that it's not the company against gamers, it's the company plus shills against gamers, as we're going to see. Like, there are genuine people out there that I would be able to call anti-consumer advocates. They behave in a way as if they're on the shareholders of these companies and they're genuinely making money by the company screwing the gamers. And it makes absolutely no sense. So here you have Helldivers, which is a very popular game, one of the latest strings of successes that AA gaming had in the industry. Most of it is due to the fact that AAA is so bad, but, you know, that's a conversation for another time. So anyway, if you happen to buy Helldivers on Steam, you may notice that you are forced to link it with your PlayStation account. All of a sudden, out of the blue. For no reason whatsoever. Like, up until this point, you could play the game just fine, but now they tell you either you link the account or you lose your ability to play the game. And this infuriates people for many reasons. Number one, this is a recent trend that I've noticed with many things that require an online connection, such as smart TVs and even phones and other devices, which will tell you that, oh yeah, we're uploading the TOS or we're changing something. And your choice is to either comply with the change that we had or you can't use your device. And this is completely unreasonable from a customer point of view. What if you don't agree with the terms of service? I mean, they just steal something that should belong to you. In the case of a smart TV, and this was something that was trending on the internet a couple of months ago, people were told, oh yeah, like we got this new update, click accept, or you can never use your smart TV again. And it doesn't really matter what the update is. I generally don't care if it's something completely harmless. It is also completely unacceptable. Like, you should not force a person after they purchase the product to comply to new terms of service. And what I think is happening here is that Sony has noticed that diversity, equity, and inclusivity is incredibly toxic. It's very unpopular for the market. So they're trying these things where, oh, you get to play the game for 60 days or 90 days. People share the game, they spread the game around, and after that they patch in their DEI shit so that they're good with their investors. Now you may ask, well, what does this have to do with DEI? Well, if you actually look at what Sony is doing, they're recording every communication that people have while using their platform. And they're basically doing this in order to combat hate speech, right? So it is about diversity, equity, and inclusivity. It is about safety. I mean, the whole thing mentions that this is about safety. And the thing is, many gamers do not want safety. We want danger. We're playing a game where you're shooting bugs. We want the danger. Like, I want to be able to play with my friends and say all of the hatred that I can muster among consenting adults. Like, as long as the other people are consenting to the banter and the trash talk and the gamer words, I do not see why that is a problem, but again, Sony finds it a problem. And it's a matter of principle, right? It's also the fact that I'm being listened to while I'm playing video games. Like, that's not something that I'm comfortable with. And they will say, well, yeah, like, we're using AI in order to listen to you, so it's not a real person, and we're only going to play back the recording in case someone files a report on you. And the thing is, like, I don't even use voice chat in multiplayer. I don't even care, but it's the fucking principle that's Orwellian. Like, you're already training people to be used to companies listening in on them. So, like, when I have a kid and he's going to play Sony, like, he needs to get used to the idea that everything he says can be recorded and it's fine. So I guess when he goes to work and works at a corporation, it's also fine if he gets recorded then. No. You know, in a free and just society, that is not the principle that I stand by. And if you stand by it, that's fine, but I don't see why I should support it with my money. So you are basically forcing people to give you consent that otherwise they may not give. I mean, it's one thing when you buy a product and you're asked if you agree with the terms of service, and if you don't like it, the product is returned. If you like it, you get to use the product. But it's a completely another thing when you've installed the product, like you already put the television on your wall, you drill the holes in order for the TV to be there, you're getting used to it, and then you're told, oh yeah, if you don't accept to this new terms of service, you can never use your television again. Like, that is completely ridiculous, and that, to me, feels like predatory. I think it's even illegal in the European Union. I'd have to check. But this is what Helldivers is basically being accused of. Because many people have purchased it, and they have played it on Steam, and they didn't need any different account. But now, if you do not create a PlayStation Network account, you can't use the game. And here's where the controversy starts, because there's a lot of people saying, well, so what? Just make a PlayStation Network account. Why do you care? It's free. And that person which says this, like right here, apparently is affiliated with Ubisoft. So, you know, it goes to show the type of people that are against this. I don't care why someone doesn't want to make a PlayStation account. Like, that's not the point. The point is of principle. I do not want to legitimize this practice. I do not like it that you can buy a game and after 30 days or 90 days of playing it, the company can say, well, accept these new terms or you can't play your game that you already purchased. And you have this guy saying, well, if you don't want to support Sony, then why are you buying the game? And there can be a plethora of reasons for that as well. I mean, maybe he just didn't know that the game is made by Sony. Maybe he was uneducated, but now that he is forced to make a Sony account, he is educated and he doesn't want to do it. Maybe he was unaware of the controversy when he bought the game. I mean, Helldivers is several months old. The whole Stellar Blade controversy is more recent. So it makes sense that the person just doesn't want to partake in it. And finally, it doesn't really matter the reason. Like, if the person just doesn't want to consent to making a PlayStation Network account, and this wasn't stipulated at the time of purchasing the game, why should he be forced? And this is the issue, you know, because a lot of people do want refunds now, and this is what upsets the shills. It's like, how dare you want a refund? It's like, well, it's my product. When I bought it, I didn't consent to this, and now I can't use it unless I consent. So it's useless. It's like a brick. And I don't want to go over my principles. Imagine if a vegan goes into a restaurant, like unironically, a vegan goes into a restaurant and he notices that a customer next to him is being served steak. And it's a vegan restaurant where they advertise that they do not sell any type of meat. So the vegan, you know, he wants his money back. Would that be unreasonable? I don't think that would be unreasonable. I would completely understand it. It's like, well, it's not as advertised, right? And even if the waiter says, oh, well, we just started that yesterday, like up until now. No, like the guy has a right to demand a refund because it's not the type of business that you advertise yourself to be. Now, the question is, why is Sony doing this, right? Like, why do they want you to link the account? Well, obviously, it's to impose their DEI initiatives in order to be able to listen in on people, but it's also to harvest information and collect data. At the end of the day, this is what I genuinely think it's about. They're saying it's about cheats, and no, I don't believe it. Like, there's other games that have different anti-cheat methods that don't require you to sign up to PlayStation Network. I think it's more about them just getting the metadata and scrapping it off people's computers in order to then sell it off to their advertisers and stuff. And by the way, you know, like Sony, like, again, they gather data all the time. They actually say that they listen in to your private conversations. Even if they don't want to share it with other people, even if they don't want to share it with China or whatever, how can I trust that they're not going to get hacked one day? Like, if they get hacked and all the data goes away, like, can you imagine the type of shit people say when they're playing video game, like Skullfuck47 wants to fuck your mom and shit, and then, you know, Skullfuck47 also wants to be a senator one day or a judge or something, and that data is now leaked, so someone can easily blackmail them and say, well, we can make this leak to the press, or you can do what we want, and we make it go away. I mean, this is literally how the Soviet Union worked, where I grew up. Like, literally just, like, everyone had a file of stuff that you said, like, 5 or 10 years ago, and then if you managed to get into a position of power, they would come up with a file, and they would say, yeah, so we can either leak this to the public and ruin your life, because you said edgy shit online, or we can just make it go away, but you gotta work with us. It's really easy to manipulate people like that. And yeah, this is why I don't like it when gaming companies especially are harvesting data. And we have seen people getting canceled for stuff they said 9 years ago, for jokes they said 10 years ago. Like, this is not different. But anyway, that's my opinion on the issue. Let me know what you guys think. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.